I wanted to talk about this topic of being selfish because I'm not seeing what's wrong with it. Although in the past I have. And it really makes me wonder why there's such a negative connotation. Now, we also want to define selfish. And I think the definition of being selfish is thinking for yourself. And what's wrong with thinking about yourself and for yourself? It doesn't make sense to me. Now, if you were going to hurt someone, yeah, or you were going to steal from someone, right? Which might be, you know, violence or stealing, that's very different from being selfish. The other thing is that the people who tend to call other people selfish are thinking about themselves. And if they're thinking about themselves, that's also being selfish by their definition. I think people use the word selfish when they're not benefiting them in the way that they used to. So there's the so-called victim mentality where we want other people to fulfill our dreams, and if they don't, we use, oh, well, you're selfish, you're not thinking about me, rather than, well, I should also be thinking about me and making sure that things do happen. So there's that part. But I'm trying to think because, first of all, it's impossible not to be selfish because we operate through our bodies, through our eyes. So everything comes from our perspective. And if you're not doing anything that's at the detriment, that is very malicious, yeah, then people want to label those things okay for themselves rather than what other people have said is like selfish. Selfish, you're so selfish. Well, it's a selfish thing to say. So perhaps being selfish isn't so bad. And what else are you meant to be? You meant to sacrifice? Well, if you're in a situation where the other person is selfish, so to speak, so let's just say you're in a relationship and the person only wants to see you, uh, an hour a week, and you feel like that's not enough, then rather than going, you're so selfish, it's seeing the situation as is and leaving or having a chat and saying, well, I would like to see you 2 to 3 times a week. So I think selfish has been used to manipulate people from such a young age. And it's kind of been stuck in the system so that we don't want others to think we're selfish. But you have to think about yourself because nobody else is. Nobody else is going to think about you. Nobody else is going to go out and make money for you. Yeah. So I guess this little rant comes to this conclusion that there's really nothing wrong with being selfish or self important. Because if you're not, nobody's going to take care of you. So I hope that was helpful. And if you have another perspective, let me know. And maybe we have different definitions of being selfish, but if you're not hurting anybody, I think that's totally fine. And if there's other people who require more of you and you're not willing to give that, it's your responsibility to tell that person, hey, look, I'm not willing to give that. Um, so maybe we're not a good match. But in order for you to get the things that you want in life, we have to think about ourselves. Otherwise, How else is it going to happen? I do a free 45-minute consultation for anybody who's struggling with going, well, I don't want to come off as selfish. I don't want to look so self important or whatever that might mean, because you're holding yourself back from what you really want in life. And we want to work through that so that, because the thing is, what we really want is, as we become more balanced people, the more you succeed, it's going to be better for the people around you. Unless you have jealous friends or jealous family members, or you're dating someone who's jealous of you and doesn't want the best. So I think it's really important to look at that again and go, being selfish ain't that bad. So leave a comment below. I'd love to hear a different perspective, but that's kind of how I'm thinking about it now. Before it was like, I wouldn't want to stand out. So if somebody did stand out, in order to justify that I don't stand out, um, I would just, oh, he's so full of himself or whatever it is. Yeah. And I'd use that use that as a coping mechanism, not to do the things that I really wanted to do in life, and that justified me staying the same place. Cool. Thanks for listening. Take care.